Hey guys, it's Lori here with a voice in the dark, and it starts with us. Um, I've been, I am very passionate about the United States and its Constitution, and I've been going over it a lot over the last 4 years. And now I've stumbled into some other things that really goes against everything that we stand for here in the United States. Um, this first one I'm starting with is the Agenda 21 2030 by the United Nations. Could this be the end of our rights as humans to have fair treatment, much less the freedoms to enjoy as the USA? We cannot afford to sleep on any of this. Time is running out. And so I'm going to go over this. This is just going to be some of the brief information in the beginning because it'll give you an idea, um, the wording, that I think will move you enough to get the book yourself and read it. And then I want you to get the other book um, that Trump is claiming, The Big Agenda. It's not Trump's plan. It is actually the Heritage Foundation. But I say get the book, The Big Agenda. And also you can get from Amazon, I believe you can get the whole thing. Agenda 2025 is what it's called. So anyway, moving on. um, I, I can't impress upon all of you that we have rights, even against the elite. We have rights. And I don't understand why we aren't all we do not consent on everything we have, our cars, windows, all of our social media. Um, we should be hanging flags, and we should be sending letters to the 10, 12 families. I'll work on getting those addresses for us. Okay, so let's carry on to the next page. I just wanted to give you a picture of what it looked like. And this is actually a critique by the American Coalition. I have to look it up a second. Oh, American Coalition of Sustainable Communities. That's what that ACSC is. These are things that I believe are strictly to control us even more and hurt us into small communities, or big communities, but communities, and we won't be let outside the walls of it. I'm afraid what they're trying to do to our country, we've reserved all of our good oil and other minerals that we have kept for a rainy day. That's our minerals. And it's not up for grabs, but they're trying to make it up for grabs. And they just they are getting rid of a bunch of farmers across the nation because they're wanting to have some kind of, I don't know, crap in a petri dish they're growing. I ain't eating that shit. And I'm not eating bugs. So anyway, our country needs to get back to being its own country, period, and sever the elite from our country. We got to find a way to do this, but we're going to really have to stand up. But you really need to get knowledgeable on what's going on. This isn't about Democrat versus Republican. This is about the United States government and its people versus the elite. And they're doing this worldwide. But our country is the one that they're scared of. Our country is the one that they want to really divide it up and into I think seven different districts. They won't be states anymore. And anyway, I just wanted everybody to see some of this. And maybe you already know, I don't know. So anyway, here goes. UN Agenda 2030. Let's talk about it. Both parties are for this, by the way. The American Coalition for Sustainable Communities said that both parties, the Democratic and the Republican parties, are both behind this new agenda. First, we're going to look at the intro and see what the 17 Sustainable Development Goals from 2016 to 2030 are for everyone. Now, they want to end poverty in all its forms everywhere. That's globally. End hunger, achieve food security, and improved nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Anyway. Promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Build resilient infrastructures, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Reduce inequality with and among countries. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because the only way they're going to be able to do that, and they have spoken of it in Agenda 2025, that to reduce inequality within and among countries means that we would have to give up some of our money and some of our stuff and go down as far as what the people earn and what they have, so that we're more equal to the rest of the world. Well, my voice on that is let the world rise up to us. They could have done the same damn thing we did. Okay, anyway. Make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. Take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. Conserve and sustainably use the ocean, seas, marine resources for sustainable development. Protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystem, sustainably manage forest, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. Promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development. Provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. This is got an asterisk on it, and it's acknowledging that the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is the primary international intergovernmental forum for negotiating the global response to climate change. I don't know. You know, our climate change is temporary. It's only because Nibiru's going through the system. Anyway, the asterisk on Goal 13 reminds the participants that it is the UN Framework on Climate Change, Christina figures, executive secretary, who will be in charge of negotiating and hence enforcement. These SDGs replace but do not invalidate the Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, that were developed by the United Nations Millennium Summit in September 2000. Nor do the SDGs replace Agenda 21 that was produced by the first Earth Summit held in 1992 in Rio. In fact, the SDGs are more inclusive of Agenda 21 than were the original MDGs. The 2030 Agenda clearly states we reaffirm all the principles of the Rio Declaration on Environment and Development, including inter alia, the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities. In fact, the 2030 Agenda document itself makes this clear. Sustainable Development Goals and 169 targets, which we are announcing today, demonstrate the scale and ambition of this new universal agenda. They seek to build on the Millennium Development Goals and complete what they did not achieve. For comparison's sakes, here are the original 9 MDGs that expire on December 31st, 2015. Now, and I'm gonna, I just get so frustrated when I read all this. Number one, the United States has been cleaning up its air and its water and its land consistently. And the other countries haven't done squat. You can see where in China and the Philippines they got all this trash, in India. I mean, they've got some real third world problems over there, but the elite are there taking all their minerals, but not taking care of the mess they make. The batteries that go in our phones, those are so toxic to the land and to water. What do you think these batteries they're wanting us to use for cars and for houses and stuff? You know, it's like, no, solar isn't going to work. It's a nice backup if you can afford it. That's great. Wind is not going to work because we don't always have wind and we don't always have solar. We don't always have sunshine. So this is all, and they're blaming us when it's them that have not stood up and stood the test of time to clean up their own damn acts. So, bear with me. I got to say what I feel. So, we'll move on to the intro. Now we're on the table of contents. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals, Millennium Development Goals, which I'll do tomorrow, America Under Siege, Sustainable Development, Agenda 2030 here at home, Shifting Governance, Citizen Stakeholders. It's 1992 all over again. Agenda 2030 threatens our way of life. Agenda 2030 supersedes Agenda 21. One world government to save the earth, eliminate poverty and promote equality. Plan of action to create a new world order. Pope buys into UN Agenda 2030. 17-point 2030 Agenda essential for utopia. 2030 Agenda threatens our way of life. Reflexive law. The new legal system driving sustainable development, transforming our world. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And then there's the Declaration, Introduction, our vision, our shared principles and commitments, our world today, the new agenda, means of implementation, follow-up and review, sustainable development goals and targets, sustainable development goals, end poverty in all its forms everywhere. And then it just goes into the same stuff I read to you earlier, the 17 things. A couple last thoughts on the implications of this in Trump's Agenda 2025. You need to read it, and it's by the Heritage Foundation. Stay with me this week as we explore these two agendas and how humans will rise above both. The following books are what I am giving this info from, all bought through Amazon. I do not get any monies for this or anything extra for promoting any of this. But the UN Agenda 2030, a critique, American Coalition for Sustainable Communities, and these, we'll deal with it tomorrow. Big Agenda by David Horowitz. That's the one that Trump's using. And again, the Heritage Foundation. Look them up and look up what they want to do. They've got a 180-day plan to basically wipe out our entire government and redo it their way. And it's so far right-winged, it doesn't even fit our Constitution in any way, shape, or form. It's authoritarian, and it's one step from dictatorship. And I think that it's time we all rose up and let the world leaders know that we do not consent to any of this. We can get it worked out. We can heal the planet. But coal, and I mean, why did we go through all the processes of cleaning the air, cleaning the earth, cleaning this, cleaning that? Because the rest of the world hasn't done it? Not my problem. You had the money there. You could have paid for it. The elites are the ones that go around and rape these countries of their prized possessions, their mineral rights, and don't pay them and don't take care of it. And then we create these things that, they want to control us with, but then they don't want to pay for the cleanup. I mean, I say take all that shit that China's got piling up from these dead batteries and send it to the fucking moon and drop it off inside. So anyway, there are other ways of doing things, and we can still keep our freedoms and keep our land and keep our homes and our country. But it's going to take more than one voice. So look at Robert Kennedy. I'm behind him. And because I believe we can make a great big statement to the two parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, because they're both guilty of selling us out to the elite. And I say we stand up to all of them. We make a point by voting in a third party president, letting the two parties know this will be your next move. Our next move will be you. And we're not afraid to make a choice and make a decision and make a difference and change things if it means changing the guard. So let me know what you think. And I'm just going to keep on going this week with this book. And then and I'm just going to go through some highlighted parts that I've gotten and not be so extenuating. You can get the book yourself. Pretty much I've said my whole point on this thing, but the way they want to put us in cities and communities without our own homes, just apartment living, and oh my God, it's a nightmare. And I can't do it. I don't know about you, but I worked in the United States of America. I paid my damn taxes, and I did the right things, and I got my own home, and it's paid for. So no, we aren't going this route. We're not giving up everything to nobody. You want to make America great again? Stop looking at the two goofy presidents and look at the truth, what we're really up against. And then let's make a point of making a big difference by voting in a third party to let the damn Democrats and the Republicans know we don't like either one of you at all. And we're willing to change everything. But we're going to change it because we're the people and we have the voice. So start using your voice and use your damn computers for sending out emails. to, congressmen and senators and, governors, whoever you got to. And maybe even the elite. You can look them up online and start sending them some emails or letters that you do not consent. Love you, Lori out.